over the last several years here on the channel, we've taken a look at quite a few hatchets and axes, ranging from budget models to at least one higher-end European model. And as much as I am a proponent of batoning with a knife when it is appropriate, there's times when nothing beats just having a really nice axe or hatchet. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new design from the folks at Council Tool in their Woodcraft series. It's the Camp-Carver. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. Have I got a mosquito on my head already? It just happens. So anyway, the folks at Council Tool, as I said, were kind enough to send me one of their brand new designs. It is a Camp-Carver. It's from their Woodcraft series, which is a little higher end series than their basic series, but it really shows. And this is a medium-sized camp axe with some pretty cool features we're going to go over in just a minute. But real quick before we get started with the axe stuff, let me tell you how this came about. I was at Blade Show this year, 2018 in Atlanta, and I'm right outside Atlanta, so it's pretty easy for me to go there. Anyway, long story, I ran into Rooster from the Axe Junkies channel, which is a pretty cool channel over there. And by the way, Rooster throws the heck out of an axe. But he was kind of working with the folks at Council Tool to promote their line and to help them develop some of these lines. And he's actually one of the developers of this axe. And he asked me if I'd be interested in taking a look at something new they had coming up along the lines. And I said absolutely. I'm always interested in promoting USA made stuff, especially high quality stuff. So there's some features of this that I think actually are nicer than some of the European axes I've seen. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So anyway, several months passed before they finally got this thing kind of off the drawing board, and this is one of the kind of pre-production models that he sent me we're going to be taking a look at. And I've been sitting on this thing, gosh, for a couple of months because I just really wanted to have a chance to do a good job of it, and I've been really busy. But we're going to take a look at it now. So anyway, thanks to Rooster and the folks at Council Tools for making this possible, because I think you're going to like this one. So without any more rambling, let's take you down to the old stump top. We'll talk about the specs of this thing, and then we'll get to doing some of that axe stuff. Okay, so this is the Council Tool Woodcraft Series Camp-Carver axe. This axe features a 26-ounce head of 5160 premium steel with a 15.5-inch overall length and a premium hickory handle. Has a 3 3/4-inch bit length with a hardened pole, a 90-degree spine for striking a ferro rod, and a large hatchet-sized eye. It's a bearded axe which allows you to get really close for fine work and has a 25-degree flat grind edge. Okay, so here's a little stump top look at the Camp-Carver, and as you can see, one of the things I like, it's got this bearded edge which really lets you get up close. You can do some carving. Put your hand almost behind the center of the blade. Put your pressure point behind there. We're going to take a look and do a little bit of carving. I'm going to show you this. Standard, the axe comes with this nice leather mask made in the USA, and it fits on here very well. And then you can optionally you can get it with a shoulder carry mask. It's got a I think it's a full sheath, and it's got like a shoulder strap on it too, and it's all leather also. A couple things that really struck me the first time I saw it. First of all, this hammer pole is designed for driving in tent stakes and doing things like that, so you're not going to hurt it. I know the Boy Scout book says you don't hammer with axes because you could open up the eye here, but I asked Rooster about that specifically, and he said this is fine to do that with. I mean, you'd have to beat steel with this thing on an anvil for a long time to mess it up. It's got a big, long, deep eye on it, which gives it a lot of strength. This thing is designed primarily for just general use at the camp. Obviously, it's a short axe. You're not going to chop down trees with this, or big trees, unless, not a lumberjack. Okay, you're not felling timber with this, but you could cut down small stuff for shelters or cut up firewood. Use it to carve around camp. It's very, very versatile size axe. It's small enough to fit in a backpack, and it's not very heavy. So what I thought we would do, which is go ahead and get busy with it and move this out of the way. I've got a piece of some kind of wood here. I don't even know what it is, but I'm just going to do some regular old chopping on it just to see. It's a pretty good size, probably about a 3-inch piece of wood. Just want to, right off the bat, before we do anything else, I want to see how well this thing just kind of feels, because I got to tell you, there's something about using a really nice hatchet or an axe. I don't know what it is, but it's just a very satisfying feel. Now, obviously, I'm bouncing around on a stump here that's about right, so it's not going to be the best chopping. But I'm just trying to chop a little piece of it off here. Oh yeah, I love it when it bites in like that. Oh yeah. Oh, I love it. And I have to be really careful here because I'm partial to my hands, right? Kind of used to having them, so I don't want to lose them from foolishness. But obviously, pretty good there. Now we're going to try something a little bit different. Just some basic, got some knots in here too, but we'll give it a shot. We'll try this one more time. Split this down. I don't even know what kind of wood this is, but it's dry. Maybe once more. I don't want to do that alone thing like happened to that lady on the loan. Let's do this. The old Boy Scout way. Okay, so what I was trying to get to was this. I want to just see how well this thing does some of that good old feathering, because you know I like to make me some feathers. And wow, would you just look at that? You need a close-up of this, I'm telling you. I guess I just made all these feathers without recording anything, so we're going to put them aside. We'll make some more, just to show you that this thing is capable, that I didn't do that with the old knife and switch you in here. So I'm going to split this out and make it a little bit smaller, just for the fun of it. Let's just see what we can do here. Okay, a really thin piece here. Let's see what kind of feathers we can get off of it. I really did just make that whole pile here and forgot to push the record button, so I am less than a trained professional, we'll say that. Just look at it getting those tiny little curls there. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I'll put the mask on for this because I don't want to cut my hand. Not sure if I want to do that or not. Let's see how well it works with the mask on, but try to strike this ferro rod. And I got to say, it seems to be pretty sharp, but not quite really like a knife that I'm familiar with. Let's just try to see. It's been raining out here. This wood may be kind of wet, but it just so happened that I happen to have the magic weapon, the secret weapon, the magic ingredient, whatever you want to call it, the old favorite fat wood. And it just wouldn't hardly be a knife video or a blade video if we didn't at least carve a little fat wood anyway. So let's just see what we got here. One good thing about a hatchet is you can more easily get a slightly larger piece of the old fat wood off of here if you need to. Just this little chunk here off of it. See if we can do something with that. I bet you we can. Just look at the tiny little slivers of fat wood it's covering off of here. This thing's got a nice edge on it. Let's just see what happens now with the old ferrocerium rod, so to speak. We can do it the same way. I'm going to put this mask back on it just so I don't take a chance on cutting myself, which I could be prone to do, and I really don't want to do that today. And we'll take this old rod here and we'll just sit it right there and see what we can do. And would you look at that? So, it works pretty good, I have to say. Never hurts just to have a little small fire going to keep the mosquitoes at bay, right? That was a quick initial look at the Camp-Carver axe from the Woodcraft line from the folks at Council Tools. Once again, made in the USA. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing some more with this axe. I've actually got some property of a camp with the Boy Scouts where they have encouraged us to cut down some of the smaller saplings and trees to kind of thin the herd, so to speak, for the health of the forest. So we're going to be using this for maybe for some shelter building and stuff like that in the future, just to see how, just general campcraft stuff. But I got to say, right off the top of my head, I am extremely impressed with this little axe. Now I'm not sure about the price of this. It's going to be somewhere north of $100, which is, I think, very competitive with European, the kind of, we'll call them boutique axes. I think this is a very well made axe. It is extremely useful, and it's made in the USA. So right there, I believe in North Carolina, which is putting American people to work, and it really is, in my opinion, a fine example of American craftsmanship at its finest. Let me tell you a couple things I really like about it, and then you can see the old balance, orientation, and rotation device back there. And I got to tell you, oh man, I really want to check the balance of this thing. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. This is definitely not a throwing axe, and it's really a nice axe, and I would hate to break it. But let me just show you. Look at the grain on this handle. First of all, you got really straight grain, which is really important. That's going to be the strongest, when the grain is parallel with the head. But the other thing to look for is run out. And by that I mean where the grain stops halfway up, because that's kind of like a weak point. And you can see on this handle, the grain runs all the way up. You can see uninterrupted all the way on both sides there. Now there's some high spots in there. That's where something was, a lump was sanded down, but altogether the grain itself runs completely through. So there's no run out. It's not at an angle or anything like this where it could cause it to break. It's got a really nice, very sharp edge on it. And this is straight factory. I didn't touch it. The hammer pole absolutely works. The 90-degree spine, I think, could probably be a little bit sharper for me, but you can do that with a file very easily. But it got the job done, and I was trying it first like this. It seemed to work better when you push down. I think that's just because there's a little bit of a burr here, which kind of helps grab it. I like that it's got this big kind of a bearded eye. I think that's, I don't even know what you call it, but it's kind of like this big heavy duty eye here. And I like that you can grip up on it. It really is very well balanced for carving and very comfortable. Almost could take the place of a knife. I mean, I guess if this is all you had, you would probably not be too handicapped if you didn't have a knife. I think you could probably skin an animal with this. You may not be able to do quite as good a fine task. I don't know if you could carve a spoon with it. I don't know if I could carve a spoon with a knife, to be honest with you. But anyway, there's that. And I like the very nice made in the USA mask. And for a little extra money, you can get the shoulder thing. I saw one of those at Blade Show. It was really nice. But anyway, I'll put a link to the Council Tools website in the description of this video. Try to put one up here. Well, you can go check this thing out for yourself, because I really do think if you're looking for a really nice heirlooms quality axe, this is definitely a good one, and it's also very useful. So what do you think? Should I or shouldn't I? Your call. Okay, fingers crossed. That was not a good first start. I need to back up a little bit. I want to show you, by the way, you see what I did just now. I just drove this thing down about 1/8 of an inch by hitting this way. Probably not good, but oh well. We're committed now, right? I'm not going to tempt fate. To get the distance down, it did plunge pretty good. So anyway, that's the Council Tools Camp-Carver axe. Once again, thanks to the folks at Council Tools for sending me this so I can show it to you. As always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, and often random videos throughout the week. There's another one right there, and if you're not subscribed, just click right down there in the corner, click that little subscribe button, and right next to it there's a little bell icon. If you click that bell icon, you won't miss a single video. I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.